That's it. It's not a time to promote anybody's agenda. No one's. Not women's, not LGBTQ, not blacks, nobody. That's it. It's America. That's what we used to be about. Our shared purpose, our shared love of country.
All right, so in this video, Megyn Kelly obliterates Bill Maher on her own show. Megyn Kelly discusses some recent hot topics in the news, revolved around DEI mandates and the recent California fires. But Megyn and her co-host also had some interesting choice of words for Bill Maher and some of the things he said on his show. So let's go ahead and take a listen where Megyn Kelly obliterates Bill Maher on her own show.
You mentioned the LA fires. I know you live a little north of that. You're in Northern California, but the debate that's unfolded in the wake of this, and it's ongoing, now that Palisades fire is, I think, 63% contained, and I just heard my pal Janice Dean saying on Fox News this morning, they expect rain this weekend, so that's good in the area. We're hoping and praying that's true. But, you know, the whole thing has been a level of incompetence that we haven't seen in recent history. I mean, it's just been absolutely devastating. And the intense focus by the LAFD on DEI and promoting the fact that the fire chief is a lesbian and so are her top two lieutenants, which no one cares about at all. She just keeps introducing it into the national conversation, has led to a lot of commentary, mostly on the right. But to his credit, enter Bill Maher on the matter on his show this past Friday, and here's a little bit of that.
Look me in the eye and tell me anyone could have done worse. We just got our ass kicked by fire. The good news is our fire chief is a lesbian. Am I against a lesbian being chief? Of course not. Do I think a lesbian can do the job? Of course I do. And maybe she's the best person for the job. Or maybe they really wanted a lesbian in that job, and she's just the best lesbian for the job. And with essential services, that's not good enough. Crowley's official bio says Chief Crowley leads a diverse department, creating, supporting, and promoting a culture that values diversity, inclusion, and equity while striving to meet and exceed the expectations of the communities. Well, you didn't exceed my expectations, which was that the whole city wouldn't burn down.
Fair?
I mean, I think it is kind of fair what Bill Maher just said. I mean, sure, it's very progressive and forward-thinking to have a fire chief who is a lesbian. But with all due respect, who cares? This should not be the center of attention right now. It is a complete distraction to the main issue in California, which are the fires going on. I think Bill Maher just saw an opportunity for a joke here, and he capitalized on it. But what do you guys think of this? Let me know below. Let's keep listening.
Again, I would love someone to do a great job in their role. I wish that she was successful. I wish that we didn't have to have this conversation. I wish that DEI policies weren't such a massive failure for the public. I am a classic liberal who, you know, loves to see diversity in the state of California, but it has to be around egalitarian merit. And that is not what's happened here. Our controller, who manages the finances of our state, she ran on DEI, and that was pretty much her biggest platform. You cannot make that your biggest platform when you are running for these roles. I'm sorry, it is inappropriate. It is not what makes you qualified for these roles. What makes you qualified for these roles is your understanding of how to execute very, very well. And in the case of LA and the fires, we needed that reservoir full. We needed the departments well-funded. We needed the fleets of vehicles properly maintained. And that wasn't happening. And again, the problem with DEI, why DEI failed, was because they treated it as ceremonial. It's very misguided. And if you hear the talk in these communities, it's very much, you know, the whites had their time, now it's time for us. And they treat it as if it's a ceremonial passing of the guard from one group of ethnicities to another group of ethnicities. But that is wrong. That is not how you govern. I'm sorry. And And if that did lead to success, it would be the first time in human history that merely basing competition on skin color, it conflates these things that are completely incompatible.
I think Megyn Kelly's co-host here has a solid point. You can't just make DEI your main reason for everything. I think California is a state that is very open to DEI, but it can't just be the main driving force. I mean, earlier we saw Bill Maher, who completely ridiculed the lesbian fire chief in a somewhat condescending way, which just goes to show you how a lot of other Americans think of this push. Megyn Kelly's co-host provided a solid argument here.
And so it's not that it's wrong on its face, is that it doesn't work, right? It really, really doesn't work. And, the idea of diversity is wonderful, but it can't be racist. And so, again, they're conflating two terms, diversity and the function of racism. And so it's problematic. We need to go back to common sense. Common sense requires us to look at an individual for their work and their actions, and that alone, and not for their skin color.
It's so crazy. I mean, I hear you say, I'm like, on behalf of all white people, our time is not over. It's not, just like it's not over for Asians or brown people or black people. It is the American people's time. That's it. Irrespective of your color, you've got a shot. Work hard. Try harder. Look at J.D. Vance. He has zero family advantages other than love and a grandma who really believed in him. He had a drug-addled mother. His father abandoned him. He's now our sitting vice president. It's over. That's Ibram X. Kendi thinking that, you're saying some people believe in, where the answer to past discrimination against one group is current discrimination against another group. That's morally wrong, and it is illegal. My white children have just as much of a shot and have absolutely no burden on them because of ancestry that as a black child does down the road, or in the inner city, even somebody who with less financial advantage, which is actually a greater hill to climb. It's just absurd. And finally, Trump is saying, no, we're not doing that. We're not letting, in particular, white boys and white men be the current, payors for all of America's prior sins. That's totally insane.
I agree with Megyn Kelly here. These other minorities can't just keep playing the victim mentality here and just claim that they are being oppressed. It is not productive at all and is a perfect scapegoat to their mediocrity. Megyn Kelly brought up a good point about J.D. Vance, who came from nothing and is the sitting vice president of the United States. It just goes to show the American dream is still alive.
We're not doing it anymore. Here's one more, keeping going on the things he did yesterday. Ordered federal buildings worldwide to stop flying the pride flag, which the left had turned into a de facto second national flag around the world. That's exactly right. Good. I'm glad it's coming down. I have zero tolerance for any flag other than the Stars and Stripes on any federal building. That's it. It's not a time to promote anybody's agenda. No one's. Not women's, not LGBTQ, not blacks, nobody. That's it. It's America. That's what we used to be about. Our shared purpose, our shared love of country. Go look at Nicole's ads if you don't believe me. Increased tariffs on our trade partners, tax cuts, and regulation changes. There's a reason why gold is a diversification tactic now more than ever. Birch Gold is releasing their ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. To get your free copy, along with Birch Gold's free information kit on gold, text MK to the number 989898. Here are the facts. The national debt continues to increase. Our interest payments on the national debt continue to increase. So gold is an important option, and it can be your hedge against a weakened dollar. Birch Gold can convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Text MK to 989898 for your free copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era. There's no obligation, just information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, and thousands of happy customers, find out more about Birch Gold. There is a reason so many people love these guys and take all or just a small part of their existing IRAs and move them over into gold with Birch. Text MK to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.
So there you have it. Megyn Kelly reacts to Bill Maher and talks about some important topics related to DEI and the California fires. But what do you guys think of all this? Do you agree to what Megyn Kelly said? Do you think what Bill Maher did went a bit too far? Let me know below. If you enjoyed this commentary, be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this one.